Hello, everybody. I'm the uncle. He's the carbuncle. Welcome to our Christmas show. It's Christmas Day. Wish everybody a blessed Christmas and a happy and healthy 2021. Okay, we're going to talk a little free agents today. Let's start with Springer. Springer, who I've told my partner here for weeks now he was going to go to the Mets. Solves a twofold problem: center fielder and a leadoff hitter with some power. What do you think there, Christian?
I was skeptical to believe you at first because I don't want to get my hopes up and then be crushed if he doesn't sign there. But the more you talk about it, the more you explain it, I think you have good logic for why he's going to the Mets. I mean, plus I'd welcome him with open arms, and I think the entire New York fan base would.
Yeah, and he's a New England kid. I think he went to college in Connecticut. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, and I think he'd do real well here. And it would be a good spark for the Mets. Real Muto looks like he's not coming to New York, right? The Mets signed McCann for 4 years. What about? Do you think he goes back to Philly?
I think that's one of the most likely options at this point. I mean, he's held off so much. Well, so have all the free agents. It's almost January. We have very few signings.
Right.
I mean,
right.
McCann is pretty much the only notable one. But Romuto,
he's not that notable, to be honest.
Yeah, but he's an impact player.
Oh,
he's an impact
player. It's a minor impact. It's
coming from a Dodgers fan.
It's a fender bender. No, I would be honest, but he's not. He's no real Muto. Let's say that. Okay. Trevor Bauer. He's playing. He's a weird dude, man. Where do you think Trevor Bauer is going to wind up?
Los Angeles, but not the Dodgers.
I don't think he'll wind up on the Dodgers either.
Los Angeles Angels, I'd think.
Yeah. Long deal, big money, or a short deal, bigger money?
I think he'll get a long deal, big money. Well, first off, he's a personality first, which I honestly love about him. I think that's the future of the game, whether you like it or not. I think these guys with big personalities playing the game with such passion, can it be seen as disrespectful? Sure it can at times, but I think it adds another level of energy, more passion, spice to the game.
It's a fine line between big personality and punk.
I don't think it's a punk. He strikes someone out, he gets hype, and
he's not a punk. I don't think. I'm talking about some of the other guys who I know you're referring to as well, like Tatis Jr. and Machado and those guys.
I love that.
Yeah. Well. Okay. All right, so I think the Angels are a real viable option for him. They got money. They need pitching. LA's a good place to play.
Make Trout feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something with Trout. He's wasting his career. You know, would they make the playoffs once since he's been with them?
And they lost in the first round.
Yeah, and they went. I mean, they haven't won a playoff series with him.
I don't even think they won a playoff game.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe not. But in interesting questions, what about Francisco Lindor? Where's he going to go?
Nowhere this year.
You don't think he's going to get traded before the season starts?
I don't think. Well, I mean, first off, this is not related, but the Indians have to change their name now.
That's another subject. But Lindor, I mean, is a 26-year-old impact shortstop. Hits for power, fields. I mean, he's a great commodity. And where does he go? The problem is Cleveland kind of backed themselves into a corner, right? They should have traded him last year in the offseason.
Well, it's not up to him if he gets traded.
No.
His fate right now is, if it's up to him, he can't trade himself, so he'd be with the Indians another year. I think he'd hold out another year, play with the Indians or Cleveland Baseball Club or whatever they're going to be called for this upcoming season for one more year at least, and then test out the waters of free agency.
Yeah, no, my point was that Cleveland missed their opportunity to trade him last year.
Yeah.
So now, what do they got? They've got 1 year left instead of 2 years of control left on the guy. It's kind of a shaky. You don't know when the season is going to start, how many games they're going to play. And plus, at the end of next year, you got a whole avalanche of shortstops that are, as of right now, are coming on the market. High-end shortstops, too, like Trevor Story, Seager, Baez, and Lindor. So, you know, why would a team mortgage the farm now when next year this time it'll just cost them money. It's going to cost them money anyway, right?
Mhm.
If they make the trade because they got to sign the guy. Okay, so that
First off, this reminds me a lot of like what something that would happen if you were to get traded with Manny Machado, right? He goes to the Dodgers for what, 1 or 2 seasons, right?
1 year.
1 year, and then moves on along. You trade for a guy. There's no point in trading for a guy if you're gonna have him for a year. First off, that's one reason. Again, I don't think he's gonna get traded. I don't think teams are gonna want him for just 1 year unless they have like
Well, they'll want him. They just won't give up, a boatload of prospects.
exactly. I don't think the Indians will be willing to give him up for not a big amount.
Well, they're kind of backed into a corner now, and like I said, they missed their window last year, last off season. Look, when the Dodgers got Machado, they traded 5 prospects for him, 5,
For
but
1 year.
none of them were blue chip prospects, and they were looking for a guy to put them over the top to help them win the World Series. That's what they were looking for.
Didn't happen.
So if you look for, yeah, but it did last year. Don't be smart, Met fan. It's a long time since '86. Yeah. All right. Do you want to go into that now? I see you're a
I
little
would
mumbling.
love
That,
to.
ladies and
I
gentlemen,
would
this is
love
what
to.
the younger generation does. They go underneath their breath.
Nah, I say
Go
it
ahead.
straight to his
Go ahead.
face.
Say it. Say it.
Mets are making the World Series next year.
Okay. Now, my having him on this podcast is like helping out the disadvantaged because
You have a
You
younger
know-
perspective, so it's not all old head views.
well, let's just see what happens. And
Yeah, we will.
look, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but you said that last year too.
Well, I didn't know Stroman and Syndergaard weren't going to be playing this
Injuries are
season.
part of the.
Well, yeah, but you
part of
can't
the
take
game.
injuries into account in a prediction. That throws off the whole thing.
Too bad, man. Too bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
2017, the Dodgers had more players on the disabled list than anybody ever, and they made the World Series. And they would have won that World Series too if it wasn't for those cheating rat bastard Astros. So anyway, so the Mets should have a good team next year. And you know what? If things break right, they could. They could make a run. They could make a deep run. I don't say no. It's not impossible.
You just
but
see
I'll
him
tell
as
you
a
what-
threat to the Dodgers.
But I don't think so.
I do.
But I also think that Philadelphia, you got to look at them differently now that they've got Dombrowski calling the shots as GM.
Could be.
He's a quality guy. I think they'll wind up Real Muto. I think will wind up going back there.
But are they going to keep Didi?
That's a good question. They need a shortstop, and Didi was really good with them. The question is, where else is Didi going to go? Because
Back to the
again,
Yankees. Maybe.
I don't think that ended very well. I mean, it's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility, but a team that really needs shortstops, I think they're going to wait. They're going to wait till next year because the Rockies aren't going to keep Trevor Story, right?
All these NL East teams need shortstops, with the exception of the Braves.
Yeah, the Bravos.
Dansby Swanson.
Right.
I love Dansby Swanson. But
Yeah, he really came into his own.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. So what else you got? Anything else you want to cover? We talked about the free agents. Dombrowski going to Philly. Anything else big? I don't think we're going to get to DH this year. Maybe next year.
No, they
Yeah,
already
yeah.
announced that Universal DH isn't coming back for the
Yeah.
National League, which honestly, I'm okay with. Let me stop mumbling first. I like the Universal DH rule. I did, because it makes it more the pitcher. Well, what do they do most of the time? They bunt anyways. It's just I think Universal DH makes these pitchers work a little bit harder too. Not only that, makes the game more fun too. First, well, I love baseball. Either way, I love the game. But for the people on the outside looking in, like kind of getting into the sport, I think it makes it more exciting for them. Builds the game more.
Well, a lot of people of your generation feel that way, and I think Major League Baseball is trying to gear their rules towards you guys because they want to get, it's feeding the roots, getting the young people involved with baseball. I understand that, but to a guy like me, I want to see the pitchers hit. If you've got a pitcher like DeGrom or Syndergaard who's a good hitter, why shouldn't he have an advantage over the other pitcher?
It's a good point.
I mean, that's the way I feel.
I feel like an argument could be made either way.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I see the other side of it. However, all right, we're just about done here. We're going to go upstairs and eat Christmas dinner in a few minutes, and we want to thank you all. Wish you the healthiest and happiest Christmas and New Year's. I'm the uncle.
I'm the carbuncle.
And we'll see you next time. Ciao.